Hello and welcome to Saturday. I've been wanting to talk about this for a couple days now. I actually wanted to talk about this when I first mentioned it. It might have been it was sometime this week. I cannot remember the date for the life of me. Probably Wednesday, maybe a tiny bit before. But I ended up beating a video game. One that is a cult classic and that has actually been ported to Switch and Steam, but I ended up playing it on the original console, the DS, well, 3DS in this case. And that game is Ghost Trick. Ghost Trick, quote unquote, Phantom Detective. Not quote unquote. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, full title of the game, is a game that came out in 2010 for the DS family of systems. This game, made by Capcom, and has become a cult classic. It's rather short, and it took me a while to finish it just because I started it right before I went to San Francisco and, getting back into it. But as soon as I got back into it, I'm like, okay, the story's going. It's going. I want to learn more. What is happening? This is really great. Hilarious, very charming. It's outstanding. But what is it about? So it's a cult classic. You may or may not have heard of it. It is Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of weekend. Well, Small Business Saturday, and I forget what the Sunday is. But you might, if you're watching this as it goes live, you might be able to pick it up on Switch on sale, maybe on Steam. I'll try to leave relevant links in the description to that. But Ghost Trick is essentially a story of you playing a dead character. You're a ghost who has recently died, but you're an amnesiac. You don't remember anything prior to your death, and you go around using your ghost tricks, in this case being able to possess objects and move them around, to manipulate things and try and change the fates and untimely demises of others while trying to get your own memories, and there's just a huge story going on. So here's the thing: as you play as the main character, Sissel, who again has no memories, and their goal is just to find out what happened. Well, there's a huge overarching plot going on, and I don't want to. Whenever I talk about a game, it's I don't want to spoil it, because I've been playing some super story heavy games, nothing like Pokemon recently, but Ghost Trick, 999, 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 doors, or whatever the order is for that. Next up, I'm going to be playing whatever the sequel to that is on 3DS. There's also it's Hotel Room 215, which is a thing. There's also Ghost Trace, which is getting Switch as well, or something like Memory Trace or something. Not Ghost Trace, Memory Trace, something like that. Bunch of super cult classic story heavy games that I'm gonna be just picking up and playing, because I've missed out on all these cult classics that I've just wanted to play for years and years, and it's just I haven't had the chance to, or haven't had the opportunity to. So Ghost Trick is one of those that it's just okay, it's a very huge staple. People love it. I see why it's very charming. It's a great story that just escalates and escalates and escalates. You're all the questions that you have are answered, and it just gets wild, and it's so fun. It's so charming. Some of the best characters are either throwaways. But then you have Missile, who is a dog who's just wonderful. You have a police officer who just dances half the time. He does his panic dance, and it's great. Yeah, all the characters are so well animated. One of the inspectors, I believe, they spent, it was a ridiculous amount of time that they spent on his walk cycle. I read it was either a month or a year, something absurd, that they just wanted to get right. And there's a lot of heart and soul poured into this game, and I see why. Again, it's a cult classic. There are several ports of it, again, to Steam, to Switch, and it's just great. Like, I ideally play it. I hate not having, like, not wanting to talk about, like, spoiler stuff, but, like, if I mention something, then it's like, oh, this is a spoiler. Like, I can only talk mechanics. I just mentioned police officers, and of course police is involved because it's crime. It's like a crime solving detective game, while you're your own, dishing out your own vigilante justice, saving people again from their untimely fates. That's basically it. Super incredible story. Go play it yourself, and I think that's all I really have to say on the topic. Wonderful game, and you can tell, like, people really love it. So, oh, that's about that. My next game probably is gonna. Well, I'm just like halfway through Sanrio Picross, and then I think I'm done with the Picross series. I think I have Picross 3D Round 1 to play on the DS, but that's a whole different thing. So I think next up would be like the sequel to 999. So I think I briefly started playing it and then like had to stop for whatever reason. So that's up next. But for now, that's where I'm gonna call it for today. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you tomorrow. And until then, later.